I've seen comments on YouTube in the past of spiritual teachers, and sometimes I'll have a glance at the comments of different things, and what I see often is this person sounds normal at 1.25 speed or 1.5 speed. And I like listening at that speed. It's a fairly common concept, and what it points to is something quite an ignorance on the listener's part, is that they're there in that trying to get somebody to sound normal, that's more pleasing to their ear, and what somebody would sound like in the coffee shop. And they're also just gathering data and information and trying to get as much as they can and move on to the next one. And jam as much as they can in as quickly as they can. And get more and more information and more data and understand. And maybe for true purposes of getting deeper and understanding more, it could also be to show off and look what I know, look how spiritual I am, whenever they're in conversations at the coffee shop. But either, it's a bit of a mistake. Because what they're missing is the most important thing in that communication, and that's the gaps. The silence behind the letters, the words. The pause is there that you can just be silent as well, instead of trying to accelerate it so you can absorb as much data with your mind as you can, which is an absolute mind adventure. There's no actual receptivity there. There's no actually opening there. There's no allowing of that to soak into you. You have a force field of mind around you. And that's been the problem all along. Is your mind and your emotions. For those people doing this. And so the teacher now is at your neuroticness speed. So you've forced the teaching into your ignorance, instead of your ignorance falling into the teacher or the teaching. The silence and the stillness is what's precious, not your mind jammed full of data. Knowing, the knower, the I, the ego. And so I encourage people that are doing this sort of work is to encourage people doing this type of work to allow the spaces and allow the gaps, and see if you can fall into them as well. Go meet there. Or continue. If this is what you do, maybe nobody here does it, but my advice would be to such folks is to understand what's happening. Understand the importance. It's not data, it's silence and stillness. This isn't school. This isn't multiple choice. This isn't a competition. It's your freedom. And the only thing in the way is your mind and your emotionality, which lead to attachments. And attachments lead to emotionality. It loops. And so many people that come here, they come here so full of knowledge, and they're trying to get this to match their knowledge and match their understanding, get it to squeeze into that. And it was pretty clear to me at some point, it's about me trying to understand the teachings and not trying to squeeze that into a small box. Maybe that's the difference. Everybody's trying to prove they're right or hold on to their way. And their way is just history, and who knows if the history is accurate or not? Who can tell? Quite often the history is what we've held on to because we like it, because we seem to get some sustenance from it without minimal effort or minimal down cost. Expense. A lot of the healing in this work comes at great cost. We have to face ourselves. We have to face our inner, the shadows, the darkness. Instead of just trying to grab pieces of heavenly clouds and shove them into us. It doesn't work that way. Why these heavenliness is in us, if we want to use that, is because we're too full. Too full of intellectual me, too full of spiritual me, too full of emotional me. Just me. There's no room for the space you are. And if you just empty the me out, the space is there. That's it. You don't have to grab anything.